The rain had ceased just hours before the funeral, leaving the sky heavy and gray as though it shared an unbearable weight pressing on Marcus Langford's chest. The billionaire, once celebrated as a master of finance, now stood motionless in his tailored charcoal suit. His hands shook slightly, and his normally composed face was a mask of grief. Before him lay the unimaginable, his only child, 7-year-old Emma, resting in an elegant ivory casket lined with satin. Her soft dress was perfectly arranged, and a delicate wreath adorned her golden hair. She appeared more like a porcelain doll than a child taken too soon, yet everyone believed she was gone. Marcus had been silent since the previous day when the hospital delivered the crushing news. He had signed the release forms with a trembling hand, every word from the doctors echoing endlessly. "I'm sorry, there was nothing we could do." Emma's heart had stopped at 4:02 p.m., cause of death, sudden arrhythmia due to an undetected congenital defect. Now, standing in the private mausoleum of the Langford estate, with walls echoing restrained sobs and whispers, Marcus could not tear his eyes from her lifeless face. Then came the soft sound of tiny, uneven footsteps. Everyone turned. A small boy, no older than 6, emerged from the polished marble archway. His skin was dark, dust clinging to his cheeks, and his worn overalls hung loosely on his fragile frame. Barefoot, he carried nothing but a small heart-shaped locket around his neck. He belonged nowhere in this crowd, but when his deep, perceptive eyes met Emma's body, it was as if he could see what no one else could. Marcus's younger brother stepped forward to block him. "Hey, who let this kid in? This is private." The boy ignored him and approached the casket. Gently, he placed his small, trembling hand on Emma's. Marcus, startled, asked, "Wait, what are you doing?" Without looking up, the boy said softly, yet with undeniable certainty, "She's not dead?" The words cut through the murmurs, silencing everyone. The guests gasped. A woman dropped her tissue, and the butler stumbled back. Marcus blinked. "What did you just say?" "She's not dead," the boy repeated. "Not really, not yet. You can't see it, but she's still breathing. Her heart is faint, but it's beating." Dr. Leonard Hayes, a white-haired physician standing at the back, paled. He had signed the death certificate. "That's impossible," he murmured. Marcus moved closer. The boy reached into his pocket and produced a tiny, hand-carved wooden whistle. "She gave me this at the fountain 2 days before the school trip," he said. "She said it was magic." Marcus's chest tightened. Emma had mentioned a boy she met who carved small toys from sticks and bottle caps. He had thought it was just a playmate. "She found me sleeping under the bridge," the boy continued. "She gave me bread and promised she'd tell her daddy to help kids like me one day." Tears blurred Marcus's vision. "That was you?" he asked, voice breaking. The boy nodded. Paramedics had insisted Emma was gone. Dr. Hayes was sweating, frowning. "This child is making a disturbance," Marcus's voice thundered. "Number, you told me she was gone. You signed the papers. You said she had no pulse. And now this?" The boy, whose name Marcus soon learned was Kai, closed his eyes and laid the whistle on Emma's chest. "She said she'd come back if someone believed hard enough," he whispered. Marcus stepped forward slowly, trembling. He noticed something he hadn't before, a faint movement of her lips. Gasps filled the mausoleum. Then the boy collapsed beside the casket. Marcus lifted him into his arms, checking his warmth and breathing, calling for water and blankets. The staff rushed to follow orders, but Marcus barely noticed them. His focus was on Emma. Her chest rose ever so slightly. "She's breathing," he whispered. Paramedics arrived minutes later, stunned to find Emma alive. Her pulse was faint but steady. She was transferred carefully to the hospital, and Kai was placed safely in another bed beside her. Specialists confirmed a rare Lazarus syndrome, where a person appears clinically dead before circulation spontaneously resumes. Without Kai, she would have been buried alive. That evening, Marcus sat beside her bed. Her fingers twitched, her eyes fluttered open, and she whispered, "Daddy." Marcus wept, clutching her hand. "I'm here, baby. I never left." He turned to Kai, who still rested peacefully. "You saved her. You saved my life," Marcus said softly. Kai smiled faintly, barely opening his eyes. "She told me you would say that," he murmured. 3 weeks later, the story went viral worldwide. A billionaire's daughter saved from the edge of death by a boy who had nothing. Marcus formally adopted Kai, establishing the Emma and Kai Foundation, dedicated to caring for abandoned and homeless children. Dr. Hayes resigned amid scandal and legal investigations for medical negligence. For Marcus, none of that mattered. He had learned something no fortune or boardroom could ever teach. The most powerful miracles often come from the most overlooked souls.